Dr. Rainey, we had a nice conversation earlier today and focused on a couple things. One was the increasing anxiety among farmers going through a year like 2022, where they most indicated to me, I visit all 92 counties. The last one was riding in a combine in Spencer County, just south of where I live, that they just made it through. All that uncertainty, and he and others have expressed they're worried about 2023. So I think that's even going to be a tougher scenario to get the crop out and all the inputs you actually need. So tell me what you think we need to do better that can approach through the R&D side, both revenue enhancement, through all the things that technology has maybe kind of weighed in on for agriculture, and then cost savings, because that elusive bottom line, which seems to go higher and higher in terms of the altitude of your revenues, and the profit margin absolutely stays the same. I think farmers could really be interested to seeing how it isn't so thin each year trying to craft a bottom line.
Okay, so you're asking how to increase revenues, how for farmers, and increase they're taking the chart away that showed we have much exponential increases in output with the same input.
And what are a few of the things that we need to either spend more money on? What are the breakthrough areas? Because that's the next thing I'm going to ask you. Okay. What are the 2 or 3 kind of most optimistic areas of research that would help craft a better profit either through revenue enhancement or cost reductions?
Right, and this goes back to what Senator Bozeman was talking about, his concern for global food security. And there are a number of technologies. I mean, I'm very hopeful about the outlook for global food security. There are a number of technologies that are yet to be explored or are yet to be deployed. Some promising technologies that need both investment and a favorable regulatory and policy environment include gene editing, as we've been talking about, or I mentioned earlier. Another promising area is predictive analytics, so-called predictive analytics. In the seed industry, that's a huge area of investment and cost savings, and will also bring more productive seeds to farmers. You mentioned that farmers need to save money on inputs, and really I'm so excited about the see and spray technology, which is where we use sensors and other just basically sensors to detect weeds and then deliver herbicides, in this case, in a very concentrated and effective way. So I think that the sensor-based technologies in general will really help farmers with their bottom line, though they are expensive to invest in, of course. And then I think the fourth promising area for the outlook of global food security, I'm not sure about saving the farmer's bottom line, but is the sort of information sharing and just national coordination around conservation practices. We really need, we've been talking about how in the future we're going to move towards even more sort of regional or localized solutions, but I think we need national coordination, discussion, communication, and education to, where information flows both ways. And I think AGARDA is really important to that. But going back to the farmer's bottom line, I think the land grants have a role in that with extension, and that we need an independent, unbiased source of information for farmers to make decisions. As you're saying, you need data for decisions, and it helps to have a third-party voice in that.
So when you're talking about discussion, I was asked to start the Senate Climate Caucus as a freshman senator when no one else would do it on my side of the aisle. Mm-hmm. We've come a long way. We actually passed a bill that went through the Senate 92-8, Growing Climate Solutions Act, which would have matched up good stewardship with pre-existing markets. Senator Bozeman was very important in getting that across the finish line. Well, alas, it's sitting over in the House and has for a year, and every farm group was for it. So you still run into political snags, and that is a place where I can tell you in the 3 years since I've been there, not only agriculture, electric generation, industrial emitters, steel and concrete, transportation, all the CEOs, all the thought leaders in this country are recognizing it. In agriculture, since We emit, I think, only 10% through agriculture in the greenhouse gases, 25% across the world. We got a lot to show others. So I hope that that's going to be something on display for an issue that's important.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned conservation, and we've been talking about research in farmers, and an area to invest in, I think, is nationally coordinated on-farm research for conservation practices. I think that's where we're going to get the critical mass of data in place to and analytics to start making, I guess, evidence-based decisions, policies, management decisions around conservation and climate mitigation.
Thank you.
Thank you